So the topic I was given today is key regulatory obligations for SMEs in Zimbabwe. It just seems so heavy, huh? Key regulatory obligation. The second reason why the topics I've been given are important is because paying taxes and obeying authorities is actually scriptural. Hallelujah. How many believe that? To pay your taxes is scriptural. Romans 13:6-7 says, this is why you also pay taxes. Give to everyone that you owe them. So it's not just a legal obligation, it's a spiritual obligation. So if you're not paying taxes, you're not declaring your taxes, ask yourself or ask the person sitting next to you, are you doing the right thing spiritually? Just ask them very quickly. Yeah? So when we're talking about registrations, we're actually talking about a biblical principle in terms of how we organize our businesses. What you realize is, if you want to do business in Zimbabwe, you've got to know who your regulator is. And you can't go out blindly. If you are running a business within the educational sector, who is your regulator? If you are doing mining, who is your regulator? So my advice to you is, as you establish and register your businesses, know who is regulating you in the land, because we have to be obedient to those regulators. The regulator that's usually known, or the entity that's usually known, is Zimbra, because they do the unthoughtful. They want your money. They collect taxes, and they are the only ones that are really spoken about. But you need your operating licenses. So who's your local authority? Do you have the license to operate? We've got different sector regulators as well. The RBZ, the MMCZ, the tourism authority, depending on where your business is. So as Christians, we want to ensure that we are recognized in those offices. That's how we grow our business. So by faith, I'm saying to you guys, even if you dream of starting a business, register your business now. Okay. And some of you may wonder, how do you do it? You can approach consultants to help you, but you can also download forms on the company's and other business, on the company's office, I think, website. You can download your forms and start completing them. You can register one business on your own. If you want to register in your name, you can't register more than just that. The steps that you need to follow if you want to register a private limited company. First, you choose 3 to 5 names when you want to register a company, because maybe you choose Mtwazi and Associates, but it's already taken because it's got brothers and it's got sisters. So they will search to make sure that these businesses are very distinct and very different. So I suggest you start thinking about names before they go. There's nothing as frustrating as dreaming about a name and Mr. Kunaka has got it already. And then you can't use that name, and maybe it's dormant. And then once your name has been approved, then there's documentation you need to fill. Guys, when you're looking at directors, don't just appoint people you don't know. These need to be people with integrity. These need to be people that you know, right? Because you'll need to submit their documentation. And what is the shareholding structure? Does Elder Mtandwa own 100% of the company? Does my Mtandwa own 2% and Elder has got 98%? What is the shareholding structure? I hope I'm not prophesying. Hallelujah. What is the shareholding structure of your business? One thing we've got to learn to do as Christians is to build generational businesses that outlive us. Make sure that your business has a structure that can continue even after you are gone. You don't want a business that starts and ends with you. What benefit is that to your children and to your children's children? And then the company will have its own debts. So now you first ring-fence that company, right? And then it's got limited liability so that they don't necessarily always come for you. And then a private business corporation, again, the process is pretty much the same. I've given there the online registration link, which is CIPZ. And if you want to register this one, the fee is 780 ZiG, right? So now that you've registered your company, you've got your name, it's been approved, you've got your certificate of incorporation, now you want to go to the taxes. And we agreed that taxes are what? Are spiritual. Did we agree? Paying taxes is spiritual. So now you go. You have your company documents, you have your IDs, and then now you go onto the tax website and you register yourself. The beauty of Zimbabwe now is things are being done online. So you go and you just register. On my tax service, .zimra.co.zw, you can register yourself. There are certain things you don't need to pay a consultant to do. There are certain things that we are unable to do ourselves. And if you do it, it's free. But if you come to a corporation, then maybe I'll charge you $200 to register it on the portal. Can you see? Already you are spending money that you ought to be investing in your business. One of the big registrations that is causing havoc these days is also VAT registration, where you have to register for value-added tax if your revenue, whatever you're expecting in your business, exceeds or is expected to exceed 25,000 US dollars or the ZIG equivalent in any 12-month period. This is very important because this is where many businesses are being caught out. You know your revenue will exceed that, but you don't register it in the system. And guess what? These days when they come to you, they will issue an assessment. They'll say, we've sampled 2 months, we think your revenue could be 1 million. And maybe you're not even there. So please go and register if you expect your revenue to get to that level. And then you also have other registrations depending on whether you're employing people, which is always good practice. Make sure you are able to apply your mind to NASA, ZimDev, Standards Development Levy. These are just the different levies. And then what I've given as well on the final slide is for some of us who are already in business and some of us who are looking to do business, you have certain returns that are due to the regulator, to ZIMRA. Please make sure that you give them on time. They're very strict. If you employ people, by the 5th of the following month, your return should be in. That this is how much pay as you earn are deducted. But you get to pay on the 10th. Huh? So you've got 5 days to get your finances in order if they're not yet. Do you get it? But the first thing that goes is a return. It's a declaration that says this is how much I'm due to pay. And then they want their payment on the 10th. And obviously, pay as you earn, we're assuming you're paying your employees monthly. Is that okay? Value-added tax, the same thing. The first thing that starts is your return. And then you pay on the 15th. And then that's monthly or biannually or bi-monthly, depending on your registration as well. Now you estimate your taxes that are due in terms of income taxes. I've also given there the due dates. What is my key messaging here? When we want to do business properly, we need to recognize that there are certain deadlines that are due in that world. Otherwise, we're charged interest and penalties. And when they come, I've seen many a times, people don't want to do the right thing and they want to circumvent and pay people. These things now have a record, a digital record, guys. I'm encouraging us as children of God, make sure your tax affairs are straight. The last thing I'll talk about very quickly is presumptive taxes. It's a simplified levy on targeting informal businesses because you know our economy is very informalized. So it's calculated on a fixed basis rather than on actual profit. So I think this applies to sectors such as they put driving schools in there, they put saloons in there because they realized that people were not paying taxes. So they'll just apply a presumptive tax. So transport, informal traders from the flea market, other informal businesses like cottages. Compliance builds trust and credibility, and I think as children of God, the first thing we want to do is for our businesses to be credible. Let them have a record that says that they are compliant in their affairs. I think that's what we want to do. You also avoid unnecessary financial penalties, where you're charged interest and penalties. We need that money to reinvest. And if you want to participate in big contracts, guys, Zimbabwe's got big contracts, huh? People are winning big, but for us to participate there, we need to be compliant and have our paperwork in order. And then the last thing is it helps businesses grow sustainably. So what are the key takeaways from me? Compliance unlocks growth. It's not compliance only. It's not just a cost, but it actually helps us grow. Right, thank you very much.
How do we start a business? What are the strategies on how you can go into business? Maybe the first question would be for someone who is working, but knows if I say this is the right time for me to start a business. And it's actually practical. For me, this is my opinion. For me, as a person, if you are working, if you can't manage your time, that's a very good sign that you can go into business. Managing your time, I'm saying maybe you have started a small thing, but you're still working, but you can't balance the two now. Could you feel with your small business wants more of you, but at the same time, if you're at that time, then that's the right time for you to go into business. God should always be the foundation of any business. Put God first. Like I said, I want you to bless me so that I can support the business. So, Psalm 37 verse 23, the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. He delights in his way. So that if I do a business, I want my steps to be ordered by you. And I saw that happening when I started my business. I also quote Psalms 25 verse 4, show me your ways, O Lord, and teach me your paths. Genesis 1 verse 1, in the beginning, God. So everything we do in business, let us start with God. Key aspect of a business, my strategies, and it be humble, humility, and it that way it attracts good business and it attracts great people. To people that want to do business with, so if you humble yourself, most people would want to deal with you. No one wants to be associated with arrogant people in business. Create a good name. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 1 says a good name is better than precious ointment. You need to make sure that your name is managed very well, especially if you're in business. But what I did, that opened a business, which business, it can be a person, and where there is a need or where there is a problem, there is an opportunity. Do you know what to do? Do you have a few ways to it? But never one or data marina. You know that. Kushake up it come against one who got a marine solar business. Trust me, that's when I have another business which supplies water purification system. Reverse osmosis and clean and dry. I only realized that I have to do this business when I noticed that and when I realized that most of the water is that water. You know, they say, problem, such problems, those are opportunities for you. You just need to understand how do I tap into those problems and turn them into opportunities. So, and most of the customers, they need their problems solved, and money is attached to that. Can I open a plumbing business? Urusike solution invest and they will a very good job. Get a very good job, client here it's easier now to charge money, but it's very difficult to charge good money when you are not doing a very good job or a very good service. If a routine is repeated over and over again, it becomes a culture. So in business, you need to be consistent. And which is your inini, you know, shake out the bus at 8 o'clock, shopping over at 8. My clients want farmers very good. But business, at 8 o'clock, and answer my calls, make sure that you answer my calls on time. It doesn't work. They don't wait for you. They don't tolerate your funny stories because they want a service. So you need to be consistent in whatever you do. So patience. Be patient in business. Organic growth. Usamanyire business rather to right. Mr. Mtondo bebe wait out. But now is farmer get. You find out 2 months and you don't know to marry farmer say. Allow. Be patient. Allow organic growth. And it's one step at a time. Business reach Chucrh. You know, farmer. No talk about mania. unokwanisa kuzochoka. So avoid fast moves. So, and there's no way in business. You should know when you should also grow. You should know when you should also pass the knowledge to other people and empower other people. So human capital is very important because those people don't want anybody on the ground. So you need to respect them. You need to create a relationship with them. So you need to respect that. As a business at Fanongin high labor turnover, you could after every 2 weeks you are losing a lot of people. It says a lot about you, it says a lot about your business. It's the same in the Buffett. I'm funny when you high labor turnover, it says a lot about you. So you should be relational with people. Treat Mumwese the same way. I know people are difficult, but you should find a way. Because you know, like clients, they create a rapport. My employees are. But next time they know them by name